In this video, I'd like to look at adding columns to the market analyzer in NinjaTrader 7. This is the market analyzer. You can see here I've got some columns set up for the USE minis. But before I start, I'd just like to do right mouse click, select properties on the market analyzer, and just make sure that if you're going to set up a market analyzer for yourself, in other words you're going to start from scratch, you need to make sure that you have at least 200 bars in the number of bars to look back. In other words, this is the amount of history that's loaded. NinjaTrader defaults to 50 on a new market analyzer, so you need to make sure that's set to at least 200. And then the session templates, you need to make sure that you're using the correct session templates. That's why if you're looking at different markets here, you need to have different market analyzers. So for example, here I'm looking at the USE minis, so I'll make sure that we're using the day session for the USE minis. If you're doing a market analyzer for something like Forex or European markets, then you could use the correct session template, which will normally be 24 hours. So they're the two things you need to make sure you get correct. And obviously the session template has to be the same in the market analyzer when you compare with your charts to make sure the signals are the same in each. Right, let's have a look at the columns. To do this, you right mouse click, you click on columns. Now here, if we come down in the top section here, you can see we have three things related to MTPredictor. The first is the MTPredictor analysis, the next one is the MTP Elliott waves, and the next one is the MTP VSA. When you apply our pre-built template, we normally put the 3-minute, 5-minute and 15-minute for our MTB analysis on the chart. You can add in any time frame you want. To do this, you just double click on this analysis and it comes down to the bottom box here. When it's highlighted, you can then adjust the properties. So in here you decide what properties you'd like to, or what time frame you'd like to scan. So say for example, let's want to scan 30 minutes. We leave everything else basically the same, apart from I tend to come down here to the label, and in that you can then change it to whatever you want, so you know what kind of analysis is being displayed in there. So that's what you do. You add the MTP analysis indicator on, you then change the time frame and probably the label, you then do OK, and as you can see the market analyzer will refresh and that analysis will then be in there as well. Same kind of procedure for the other things. Again, column, if I want to add in a new one for our MTP Elliott waves, again double click on it, it goes down to the bottom section here. This is where you change the value here to be on what type of market you're doing. So you do have the option to have on different charts there, but I'm going to stick to minute and I'm going to change it to a 30-minute chart. And again, you can change the label so you know when it goes in what label that refers to. Same for the MTP VSA. We come back into here, MTP VSA, double click on it, it goes down to the bottom here. We can then change the value, so you put that in for the time frame you want to follow, and again you probably change the label so you know where you are. And in that way you can build up your market analyzer to have whichever time frames you wish to follow, and of course you can just drag these across to reorder them as well. So in this way you build up the columns just like this, and as we've seen already, when you've got the MTP analysis or the Elliott waves or the VSA in the bottom part here, which denotes it's going to be in the market analyzer, make sure you have the property set correct. In other words, you have the time frame you wish to follow there, and I'd also suggest changing the label. And that is how you add new columns into the market analyzer using our three MTP analysis, MTP Elliott waves and MTP VSA indicators. And as you can see now, it will go away and scan all the markets you put in, giving you the results there in a color-coded kind of format. If you want to add in new instruments, it's dead easy. You can either add instruments singly or you can add an instrument list. But remember, If I go back to properties, you have to make sure that you don't get confused with the session templates. In other words, if you're following the USE minis, use the template for the USE minis for the day session time only, and make sure you only have those in that particular market analyzer, and also make sure you're looking back 200 bars. If you want to do, as I said right at the start of this video, if you want to do this for other markets like Forex or European futures, make sure you do a separate market analyzer with the different session template to make sure everything gets updated correctly. And again, make sure that when you have the charts you look at, make sure particularly the session template is the same in the market analyzer as you're using on the charts. If you have any discrepancies between values or setups you see on the market analyzer and on your chart, the first place to look at is the session template. Make sure they're the same, and also make sure you're losing enough bars, you're looking back enough bars here in the market analyzer.